Hello, and welcome to Lighthouse Intuitive Tarot. My name is Julie, and if this is your first time tuning into the channel, a great big welcome. And for those of you returning, it's always wonderful to have your energy. Thank you so much for being here. So the aim of the channel is to give you some inspiration using tarot cards, oracle cards, to sort of guide you through the energies that are moving around, either around you or in the collective. More specifically, this is a general reading, so please do take note of that. But it's tapping into the energies that are around us and then receiving some guidance on how to work with those energies, move with those energies, be with those energies. So this reading is for the weekend of February 11th and the 12th. Let's dive right in. We're going to begin with the Starseed Oracle. I've premeditated on the deck and pre-shuffled it. So I'm just going to see what wants to jump out here. Oracle advice for the weekend of February 11th and 12th for the collective. Ooh, there we have it. All paths lead home. Let me just set these down and I'll get a better angle there for you. All paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. What a great message. All paths lead home. I love that notion that nothing in this universe that is meant for you to experience here in this incarnation, in this experience of your spiritual self being in a human body, whatever is meant for you will never pass you by, and all paths will eventually lead you home. So it's really just about manifesting which direction you want to go in and listening to your heart. Let's read what the book has to say. All paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. It's normal to look to the external world for answers and guidance. What's revolutionary is turning your gaze inward. You're being called to source your guidance from within, to study the terrain of your inner landscape, to develop a reliable relationship with your soul. The more time you spend connecting with your soul, the deeper the connection will become. The challenge for empaths is staying connected without cutting off from the world. That's so true. The best way to do this is to develop a daily practice that helps you to keep checking in, to draw on the wisdom within and let that be the authority in your life. If this card appears, you may be called to develop or switch up your spiritual practice. To get in the habit of turning your gaze within, get centered for the day before consuming anything from the outside world. To start from a feeling of at-homeness, and throughout each day, to find simple ways to keep coming home. This doesn't mean switching off from the realities of today's world. We need as many conscious people as possible living with their eyes wide open. Rather, it's a call to start your day from a place of connectedness, grace, and devotion, so that when you go out into the world and when you let the world in, you do it from an unshakable state of being, a state where you draw your strength, authority, and guidance from a place deep, deep within. And the soul inquiry is, how are you being called to turn your gaze within? It's a very interesting question. Wow, a really big message here. It really resonates for me personally, the notion that it's challenging for empaths to stay connected to themselves, to source, to their heart and to their sort of deeper intuition without cutting off from the world. because the world is full of such busy versions of the collective energy. And it can be incredibly distracting, as we all know, right? Again, the notion that all paths do lead you home, and that you will always, like every experience, no matter how distracted you are within it, every new experience is another chance to practice. Truly, like that is what life is, right? Like as particularly spiritual life, your spiritual course, destiny path. Every single thing that happens to you or around you that you manifest, whether you consciously manifested it or unconsciously manifested it, every single thing and all of the ways that they transpire are opportunities, just one after the other, to practice, right? Really interesting oracles. So this weekend we're being called to that, using our intuition, taking the time to reflect, taking the time to connect to source. So next we'll get into Rider-Waite for a tarot pull for the weekend, for the energies this weekend, for the collective energies this weekend, February 11th and 12th for the collective. Energies do we have for this weekend? I want us to see. February 11th and 12th, collective energy for the weekend. Oh, there we go. The Knight of Swords. Okay. So this Knights are always moving at a fairly good pace. They're coming with action. It's a very active card. So there is definitely a masculine overall energy to this card. And it is an action card, as I was saying. This knight is rushing in with his sword to bring in a message, that is true, so truth revealed, and it's coming in hot. So this could tie into our All Paths Lead Home intuition card, in that in doing this and taking this time to reflect on the sort of the inner garden, if you will, you might find that a really sort of profound truth could come up for you, a profound realization. And another aspect of the Knight of Swords is that sword is ready to be used, and swords they cut away and sort of trim the fat, if you will, off of whatever isn't needed, leaning things down and getting closer to sort of the source, I suppose. So this knight has sort of a quick and very deliberate message there. We'll grab a crystal mandala. Woo-wee. We seem to always get two of those. They're so beautiful, though. I really can't say that I'm ever disappointed with that. Look at how gorgeous those two cards are. I mean, wow, really. They're just mesmerizing. They're such beautiful mandalas to meditate upon, and the messages are just as beautiful. So let's get into them. We'll go with this one first. This is the angel Yahel, I hope I'm saying that correctly, in Labradorite, individuality. I'll hold up the card so that you can see what that says there if you wanted to screenshot that. All right, let's get into it. I delight in being me. I embrace my quirks and eccentricities. When I'm truly myself, I come from a place of self-love that allows others to receive and love me. As I discover and express my true self, I step fully onto my life path and fulfill my higher purpose. As I love and honor my real nature, I listen to my intuition and give priority to what matters most to my soul. That's really beautiful. I love the way that that pulls in to the all paths lead home, tuning into intuition, and tuning into the inner world. So the inner world isn't just intuition, right? The inner world is just the real. Who's in there? You know, we never really quite know why it is we develop affinities towards the things that we do. But it's wonderful to embrace them, you know, to embrace the differences, to embrace the eccentricity of it, the uniqueness of exactly the way that the stardust assembled to, you know, put you together, if you will. Next card is Ascended Master Kuthumi and the Moss Agate, the sacred ecosystem. Oh, I love this already. We are sacred ecosystems. All right, let's get into that message. The universe provides me with spiritual energy and charismatic magnetism to attract all beings in need of my light so that I can fulfill my highest destiny as a healing presence in this world. I accept my place in the greater divine scheme, embracing supportive connections in the spiritual worlds and in the material world, with the understanding that my fulfillment and the fulfillment of all beings is divinely intertwined. I give myself permission to plug in and to receive. Oh, I love the way that this rounds out what we have discussed so far in this reading, because this for me is speaking to a very divine feminine energy, the divine feminine energy of receiving and allowing, acceptance, and just being comfortable, just being aware, just being able to receive the connections to the spiritual world, to being equally concerned with both, you know, the good of self and the good of all beings, all human beings, all animal beings, all life, you know, and life beyond. Just that connectedness of, well, we see it here in these cards even, you know, these spirals of life, you know, the very essence of what life is all around us, and the sacred geometry, you know, in the laying down of it all and the way that it all connects. There's beauty in quite literally everything. If we're willing to slow down, go within, see it, and look more deeply. Really beautiful message there. Finally, we'll take the Muse deck, which is a Chris Ann deck, and we'll see what that has to give us. This is a predominantly feminine energy deck. I mean, of course, it carries all of the cards the way that any tarot deck would. The overall tone of this deck, though, is the tone of a muse, which often takes the shape of female form in this deck. Let me see what fell out for us here. The Ace of Voices. Wow. Love it. So that's the Ace of Swords. So this is our little monsieur over here, this figure riding in. I said monsieur, who knows what that is, you know. Gender and really, you know, all of that's fluid. It is whatever you need for it to be, whatever we all need for it to be. But anyway, I digress. What I'm getting at here is that this ace is his sword, her sword, this figure's sword. And really what it means is, you know, a big truth waiting to reveal itself, coming in hot, really, like I said. Look at how lit up this beautiful figure is on the Ace of Voices. That sage owl is bringing in wisdom with this this piece of information. So there is really sort of something truly timeless and ancient and beautiful to be honored here. And it's a, you see those mountains, and you know, the beautiful sort of Buddhist Tibetan flags flying. Those sort of prayer flags, the wish flags. The steadiness of the mountains for me is represents a really grounded, ancient truth. You know, unshakable, as it spoke to in the All Paths Lead Home card. You know, stand unshakable in your wisdom, your truth. These mountains are confirming that. Be the mountain. You know, when you connect to this piece of information that may have been hidden from you, you know, or it was just so deeply buried, and now you can see that beam of light that's come right down and shone, opened right up upon the, you know, this ancient, beautiful, steadfast reality, like the real truth of what is behind this message. You know, whatever this message is for you. Of course, it'll be different for everyone, right? But whatever little golden nugget you uncover, it's ancient, it's wise, it's steadfast, and light must be shone upon it at this point. We'll bring it forward, and all paths will lead home. Okay? Also, this reading was saying to me that there's a really nice blending of masculine and feminine energies here. And as I was saying before, I really did feel called to use more of a sort of predominantly feminine energy deck. And I think that was in the sort of the balance to, you know, this energy of coming in quickly with purpose and action. So being asked to both take action towards and to softly receive the information that comes through with that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. I hope you have a wonderful and safe weekend. Take care, and we'll talk soon. Namaste.